What's up? Holla at your boy. Welcome to the first episode of my new podcast, Pencil Break with Obi Aris. Obi Aris is my stage name. Obi Arisuku is my real name. If you were ever wondering, I don't think you were, but I gave it to you anyway, so deal with it. Before we start the episode, I gotta get one thing off my chest. It's a Game of Thrones spoiler. Missandei! My heart. Cersei, you bitch! Why would you do that to my baby? I loved her so much. I just want to take her, her head and just rub her curls. Just want to sing to you. Girl, if I told you I love you, that doesn't mean that I don't care. Oh, I love you, baby. Damn it, Cersei. All right. If you're watching this, because there is video for people who are listening to it, there is video out there. Watch the video, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. To my left, there is a large photo of Solange. This photo was taken by Greg Noir, my boy Greg Noir, aka Photo God, the dopest photographer in the game. Follow this man, Greg Noir. Follow him because he's that damn good. I asked him if I can get a blown up photo of Solange. Another reason why I wanted the Solange picture is because I love her music. I love her artistry. I love her creativity. I jam seat at the table all the time. I jam when I get home in the shower. I'm getting all bubbly and scrubbed up and smelling all sexy. You know what I'm talking about? I just love Solange. Like, Solange, if you need another baby daddy, holla at your boy. I got you. I'll do it for the free. And not only that, Solange from Houston. I'm from Houston. You see I'm repping the Rockets, the H. Holla at your boy, Southwest Side. You know how we do. So looking at this photo of Solange, it reminds me of home, especially now that I live in Los Angeles. So we're just paying homage to the city that I'm from. All right. The other thing that's going on here is that to my right, I got my boy Raph, my Ninja Turtle doll. Been having this dude since I was 1 year old. You got my back, Ralph? Say hi to the people. Wave at them. All right, you're taking too much of my shine, man. You gotta sit back. All right, cool. Peace. I also got this kind of ghetto setup because I'm in the comfort of my living room. I'm too lazy to go to a studio or go outside my apartment. Also, I'm by the street. So if you hear some assholes racing up and down, please forgive them. They are not showing me the proper respect that I deserve for creating this podcast. All right? Now, the reason I created this show, one is like therapy for me. When I'm drawing, I don't really talk to anybody because I'm too focused. If I talk and I draw, my sketches become out of whack. They start looking really wonky. I got to start over. Two, I want to give you the behind the scenes look or information or whatever it is that I have going on. Hopefully it gives you insight. Hopefully there's motivation. Hopefully you can pick up on some things that can help me out by telling me things I need to change or maybe things I need to talk about. But I think it's really dope because I don't hear this kind of stuff from other creatives. If so, please tell me where I can find this at. But I think it's really cool, almost like a fly on the wall. Hopefully. For this episode, I do want to get into something that I feel is very important. By the way, I keep this podcast short. It's going to be like 10, 15 minutes. I got other stuff to do. I don't feel like talking that much. I'm also in this hoodie. It's hot as shit. I got all these lights. I got to bounce. But what I feel like is really important, especially for this first episode to talk about, it has to deal with social media, has to deal with the content that I drop, and also the lack thereof and the content that changed. So before I moved to Los Angeles, I moved out here literally the 1st of March. Before I came out here, I had ample time to where I can drop work on a consistent basis. I can drop my personal illustrations. I can drop my comic strip every Friday. When I created my comic strips, I created them in December 2017. For a whole year, I dropped a comic strip every Friday. These comic strips are so important to me because they are literally a part of my soul. I create these comic strips because I was getting ready to go into a dark place. I was getting ready to get into depression because it was a lot of things going on in my life when it came to me quitting my job to pursue my art career, move back in my parents, so I didn't feel that independency anymore, kind of feel like a loser, me going through dating woes, everything was just coming together. So me creating this comic strip was a way for me to laugh at myself, to laugh at my pain, instead of me feeling sorry about everything I was going through, feeling sorry about me. So I had no idea these comic strips were going to pop off like this. I tried all other kind of stuff. I tried creating children's books with Beyonce's kids. That didn't work. I tried drawing superhero art. That didn't work. I tried so many strategies, so many gimmicks. However, the one genuine thing that I tried was the thing that became my quote unquote claim to fame. Now, a lot of that changed when I moved to Los Angeles. When I came out here, I got so busy taking meetings, working on other projects. Not only that, actually, I'm sorry, why I say not working? That is true because I was working on other projects. I was working on projects for different clients. I can't even name the clients I was working on these projects for. I couldn't drop any of the work that I was doing. I had to sign NDAs. I had to keep things secret. I'm still working on the stuff, so you're not able to see it. I was working on my own personal goals. See, my main goal in life, or my first goal in life, is have my own animated series. That's the number one thing I want. So I was also working on creating pitch Bibles, pilots, treatments for my cartoons that I want to put into development. So these are things that you're not able to see. Like I literally worked on a project with a client that I really wish I could show y'all. I even emailed the client 2 weeks ago. It was like, hey, can I drop this? They're like, no, we may still use it. That was a project that I worked on for a full week that never got to show on my social media. And I bring up social media because Instagram especially is where a lot of my success came from. Facebook, Twitter, all that. And when it looks like I have nothing showing, it looks like I'm not doing anything. It may look like I'm out here in Los Angeles. I'm just hanging out with people, trying to be a superstar celebrity. That's not even what the case is. I literally like staying home and working and drawing. That's my life. But it looks different when you get so busy and you're not outputting the same amount of content that you used to. This was a lesson I had to learn, that now that I'm out here, and I've heard this from multiple people, I have to work 5 times harder than how I worked in the past, right? I have to figure out how I'm able to accomplish these things that I was doing that was not only sustaining my notoriety, but also continuing to boost my notoriety. Now, I did have to sacrifice things. And one of those big sacrifices was that I was unable to continue dropping comic strips every Friday. And that hurt me because, again, these comic strips, they're my baby. And the fact that I wasn't able to create them, it disappointed me. I'm pretty sure it disappointed other people as well who look forward to seeing these strips every Friday and getting a kick out of them from the comments saying like, hey, these brighten up my week. I love these. I just wasn't able to do it anymore. And it sucks because I programmed my audience to look for it every Friday. It's almost like a TV show. So now that it's gone, I have to figure out a new way to bring that engagement back, a new way to continue to drop this artwork, a new way to continue to drop these comic strips. And I feel like I have figured it out. I feel like it's all going to work out in the end. Social media is a very volatile thing. Some stuff that you think is going to pop off, it doesn't. Some stuff that you think is the wackest shit you've ever seen or heard becomes one of the greatest viral sensations of our generation, right? Everything's in flux. So never think that there's a plan for everything. Just do it. And it may work and it may not. And just keep rolling with the flow. Keep doing what you got to do. Another thing with social media that I'm definitely working on, I will be honest, I did feel like my comic strips were reaching a peak when it came to the audience I was bringing in. And I'm saying that because I was creating new strips earlier in the year and I wasn't really seeing any kind of movement when it came to followers. The engagement was great, but other than that, nothing really changed. And I realized that my page was turning into a page that was strictly about comic strips, about these comic strips I was creating. When in actuality, I'm a creative. I love creativity. I love supporting creativity. I want to showcase that I'm more than just these comic strips. So I went back to one of the things that I fell in love with, and that was creating art in general. And I started creating not only my personal illustrations that I loved, but also started recording this. One, it allows people who I would say look up to me. I don't like saying stuff like that. People who say I inspire them, it allows them to see the kind of work that I'm doing. Maybe they can get something out of it. They can get some kind of tips, tricks, whatever it is. And then also, those videos draws in another audience that loves creativity, that wants their work to grow. Videos is something you don't know. If you do know, great. But if you don't know, this is very, very helpful when it comes to social media. I've talked to my friend who works for Instagram. I've talked to another one of my homeboys who's a very, very great comedian, Kev on Stage, super hilarious. And when I talked to them, they were like, videos is really what's popping off on Instagram, right? Instagram really wants you to push IG stories. They want you to push videos. They want you to push IGTV. And it all makes sense now, right? If Instagram is creating something new, some kind of new technology, some new innovation, it will make sense they will reward you for implementing these things in your social media. So when you start doing videos, you start getting more engagement. When you start dropping IG stories, you start becoming to the front of the line. When you start doing IGTV, they're going to start putting you up in the ranks. Not only that, they're about to start paying people for IGTV. So definitely start getting into that. That's a very helpful hint. Start getting into that kind of stuff. It's going to pay off soon. It's going to be very lucrative. I know it in my bones and my gut. And that's why I'm actually starting to put more video out there, more content as well. Because hell, I don't like really doing client work. The reason being because it takes away from me creating these comic strips in my personal work. So if I can find another way to make an income by doing the stuff that I love and showing people the stuff that I do, which is the stuff that I love to do, why not take it? You get what I'm saying? One last thing. I was going to end the podcast, but I do want to bring this up before I end it. I recently created a comic strip. Since we're talking about comic strips, or since I'm talking about comic strips, I recently created a comic strip. I call these my one-pagers. I did a one-pager where it was about Cinco de Mayo. I'm talking to Speedy Gonzalez. I'm telling Speedy Gonzalez, yo, bro, your whole creation is offensive. This was a very important comic strip. Not because I was bringing awareness to a culture that I felt was offended by Speedy Gonzalez. It was because I got schooled thinking that I knew what the hell I was talking about. After I dropped this comic strip, my Hispanic followers were telling me, hey, we're not offended by Speedy Gonzalez. We love Speedy Gonzalez. What I ended up finding out is that people like me who thought that the Hispanic community was offended by Speedy Gonzalez because they had the whole thing where people were offended by Apu. You have where people were offended by the Black Crows and the Dumbo cartoon. And by the way, Apu is the the guy who owns the Quickie Mart in The Simpsons. Anyway, I'm thinking that, okay, this is just offensive in general. No, I was wrong. What's accurate is that the Hispanic community actually loves Speedy Gonzalez because he was representation. I'm saying this because when you start creating content, be sure to do your proper research. Ask around if you need to. Things have to make sense, right? That was a very ignorant moment for me. I remember when years ago I was writing this book, and in the book, it was, it took place in Africa. There's this old grandfather fighting this evil witch. The witch is tearing this man up, slicing and dicing. Yeah. He ain't got no chance. However, I thought it would be cool to have him like flipping and twirling and doing all these kind of fight moves like Yoda in Star Wars Episode 3. Like, I thought it was just super dope. I had my mentor read it, and my mentor said, this makes no sense. This old man is bleeding out. He is drained. He is tired. He's about to die. There's no way in hell that he has the same energy from the beginning of the fight now. I never thought about that. I just thought it was just cool to see this guy going crazy. So remember to do your due diligence. Make things make sense. Okay? Is there anything else I want to talk about? I think not. My back's kind of hurting because I'm leaning forward. It's getting hot as hell because I got this hoodie on. My bad. One last thing. I know I said I was going to start. One last thing. If you have any questions, any comments, anything you want me to talk about, let me know. Send me a DM, put it in the comments, email me. I do check my DMs. I do not respond to them, but I do check my DMs. The reason I don't respond, because I've had situations where I responded to people's DMs and these people were super weird and they would not stop hitting me up. And so it's just easier for me just to not respond in general. However, I do appreciate all the fanfare, all the love that I get in these DMs. It brightens my day. It makes me feel good when I do see the messages saying that you appreciate the work, that, I made you laugh. When I see that you've actually shared my work in your Insta stories, that means a lot to me. So thank you. I sincerely appreciate it. Don't stop. Again, I may not reply, but just know I do look at them and I do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Also, subscribe. Subscribe to this podcast. Whatever button, whether it's purple, red, I don't know where the button is on the platform you're listening to this or watching this at, subscribe to it. Tell your peoples, tell your family, tell the duck crossing the street, tell the possum in the trash can, I don't care. Spread the word. Your boy's out here trying to do things. You know what I'm saying? And on that note, it was the first episode. Appreciate you for tuning in. There's going to be more to come. H-Town O out. Peace. Break.